It is 6:50 in the morning, and I'm about to drive across the state of Oregon to go whitewater rafting for 3 days and 2 nights. Let's get it.
My bag.
So after 4 hours of sleep-ish, maybe 5, somewhere in between there, and 3.5 hours of driving and making it to the spot, I've arrived. We're all set up. We're loaded up. I didn't do much. They did it all. They're badass. Place is gorgeous. Very cool rock formations. Very nice water. So far, 10 out of 10. Yeah, we'll see what we get into. Say bye!
This whole trip actually felt very meant to be because I was only invited about a week or two before, and the days just happened to line up perfectly with days I had open, which was rare at this point in time, and it was a real sign that I couldn't say no, even though I knew I was kind of pushing it with how much I had going on in life. It had been years since I have gone rafting, and these kinds of outdoor Oregon explorations are exactly what I'm calling more of into my life, especially since this summer ended up being so much busier than expected, so I really didn't get to be as outdoorsy as I wanted to be. Thankfully, my friend Stacy loves all things outdoors, and she has some friends who do as well and happen to be professional river guides. Just one day in, a dozen or so miles down, a couple class 2 and 3 rapids behind us, and a whole day of adventure ahead. Needless to say, at this point I'm feeling pretty in awe of the whole situation I found myself in. This is my first multiple day rafting trip, so I've never gotten to experience arriving to a secluded campground by boat. This whole river is lined with campgrounds, so you can really just pull off wherever you'd like and set up camp. Or, like my friends here, just sleep on the ground under the stars, which I will confidently say I'm way too freaked out by bugs biting me at night to do. So a tent, for me, it was.
Where? Right there. They're coming out. Stop it.
Getting to wake up, immerse in an environment like this, and immediately get on a boat where you travel 15 miles through this untouched land filled with ancient stone that changes every corner with new patterns and formations, and all of the wildlife that call this area home felt like a rewilding of my soul. There is not a single word in the English language that captures this feeling, but it's something that I hope that your soul knows is familiar. As we made our way down the river, and I got to witness these rocks that have stood there for an unimaginable amount of time while the world changed around them, I'm reminded of how small I am and how the struggles in my life are so temporary, that my entire existence on Earth is so temporary, and that each moment is filled with a beauty I've never seen before right in front of me, so I really have no choice but to be present. And to me, that's all so freeing. This isn't an escape. This is a return to the natural humanness in me, the part of my DNA that begs to be near water because it knows that water means life. The instincts that my ancestors passed down to me that knows which plants and animals are friends or foes. Our modern way of life creates so much noise that it drowns out this part of our human experience. But the mountains, the trees, the boulders, and the water have a way of clearing my uninvited mental constructs and reminding me how much space exists when my mind just slows down, and how much beauty I'm constantly surrounded by that I just need to stop and notice. So we pulled over to this campground intending to set up for the night, but very quickly discovered that there had just been a fire because there was lots of burn shit and a fire truck and an entire camping setup that someone clearly had to evacuate from. But we later learned that the fire was 2 nights before. It was started by a lightning strike at the top of that hill, and the people made it out safely at dawn on their raft. So this was definitely a reminder of nature's unpredictability and the importance of being prepared, and that material things are always replaceable, especially canopies. But damn, does Yeti make a good cooler, because that thing was untouched. As we paddled onward, the glory of the Deschutes River continued to unfold around us. Its flowing waters and abundant wildlife offered a striking juxtaposition to the charred earth that we had just left behind. So we sent a couple more rapids before finding our home for the night. After setting up camp, we cooled off in the water. We hung out with this little crawdad and just checked out the nature around us. We got comfortable. We had a little photography session. We ate some snacks, and then we ventured into the mountains on foot to explore our surrounding landscape. The deeper we allowed ourselves to get lost in the mountains, the further I mentally disconnected from the societal conditioning that life is meant to be lived a certain way. We spent the evening painting for hours under the full moon, And I just have the deepest feeling that this is exactly where I was meant to be. Like in a primal way, sleeping under the stars, eating snacks, and making art with friends just felt like what I'm meant to do as a human on Earth. But I think that it's because we're all meant to do that as humans, because that is what humans did for a very long time. As we were nearing the takeout spot in Maupin, I was so sad to see that this trip was coming to an end, but incredibly thankful that I got to have this experience. I left with a full heart, some unforgettable memories, some incredible photos and videos, and some new friends I know I'll get to go on another trip like this with one day. A part of my soul that feeds off of creative inspiration from nature was revived, and there was just one last wish to be granted. Remember those horses from the first morning that I didn't get footage of? Well, the universe heard my calls and it talked to the horses and it told them to show up for me where we left my van at the entrance, so I can't think of a better way to have ended this trip. Thank you so much for watching. More videos soon.